We're captive on the carousel of time. We can't go back, we can only look behind from where we came and go round and round and round in the circle game. Hi everybody. I've still got radials, I've still got circles on the brain. Now it's radiating out. Can you guess what kind of circle I'm thinking about? Yes, the most important sphere in our world, the sun. I think you're gonna like this next project, so you should check it out. Dating back to ancient times, the sun has been recognized for its life-giving importance. In ancient Egypt, the sun god Ra was thought of as the king of all Egyptian gods and the creator of everything. In ancient Mexican culture, an Aztec stone known as the sunstone, or Tonatiuh, is more accurately known as the calendar stone. The idea of illustrating the sun and its importance has been around since civilization itself. Today, there are many images of the sun created as a person or personified. There is even a TV show called Sunday Morning that has featured hundreds of suns created by people of all places and ages. Who hasn't drawn a sun with a face at least once? This week's challenge is more involved and will take more time to complete, but if you are dedicated to making and creating, you'll love it. You'll be working with homemade paper mache to create a sun face or a flower face if you like, with some 3D facial features. Let's get started. You'll need 2 paper plates. No coating would be the best. Crayons, markers, scissors, Sharpie if you have it, computer paper, some paper towels, Elmer's glue, and a mixing bowl. On the back side, draw 2 eyes with the shape of an expression you would like to portray. Use a crayon with heavy pressure to color around your eye shape. Repeat on the second plate and use different colors and expressions if you like. So after you've colored everything, you're going to want to go ahead and get a hole punched in the top. So if you don't have a hole punch, get someone to help you with some scissors. But then match the 2 up so that you know that they're going the same place. And then put your hole punch right through. So what we want to do, if this is going to be a sun, we need some rays. So I just have some computer paper here, and I think what I'll do is I'll make 4 of one size. So folding it once is 2, folding it again would be 4, and those can be nice long ones. So I'm going to start at the bottom near the edge, and I'm just cutting them wiggly. If you want them to be perfectly straight triangular shapes, it's up to you. And then I'll do, in order to place them on an AB pattern, I'll make a second set of rays and fold it hamburger, and then cut in order to make some shorter, thicker rays, and just to have some variety. So after you have maybe decorated your rays, then you want to see about how you'd like to arrange them. So I was thinking maybe I would put 2 here and here, have the 4, and then 1 in between. So, and then I would glue them. After you've glued the rays or flower petals on the edges, get ready to make your paper mache. So to make some paper mache pulp, which you can kind of mold like clay after it's soaked, you're going to tear up paper towels You don't need a whole lot, but into small pieces. And then after you've torn up into very small pieces, you're going to soak it overnight or for a few hours in some warm water until it's just soft and movable. Okay, so just tearing up paper towels. So this has soaked all night, and now I'm going to just drain any extra water there is. It needs to be wet. So I'm gonna squeeze a lot of it out. We don't need it to be that wet. And you see the paper towel is just broken down into pieces of pulp, which it originally was before it was a paper towel. It was wood pulp. Now I'm going to squeeze a little more water out. I'm going to add some glue. Actually, first thing, I'm going to add some salt. Because the salt is to keep the paper mache pulp from molding. So whether you do this with flour and water and salt, or glue and water and salt, salt helps to prevent any molding. I'm just going to add a little at a time, and then this is, kind of the fun part. The water is going to act as, the glue is going to act as the binder that will allow me to stick. I'm still going to squeeze some of that extra water out. Just kind of have fun with it, and I'll show you in just a second what this is going to make. Okay, so I've played with the mixture for a little bit. I added more glue, and you can see it's really able to be formed, and that's why we call it paper clay. So I'm going to make some three-dimensional features over here on my sun, my personified sun. I'm going to start with the nose, and it's wet. Now, you may be wondering why I colored this first. Well, because crowns are waxy, and so if I got something on here, it would repel it. Wax resist water and liquids. This guy's gonna have a nice, fun, large snout. You see, I'm putting some nostrils up in there, but I just keep tapping it and pushing it. And I hope I'm doing the right by the wax. It was kind of an experiment. The reason, I'll show you one that I did the other day, is I put food coloring in here just to see the color, but this is attached nicely, but I did not put the waxy crown down. I just thought it would be easier, but I may be having to rethink that eventually. But the food color on this one, I decided the food color was kind of messy. So this one, I did one, and I actually just used a marker to color in the feature, and I'll use it to color in the features. So that's what you can do. It's called paper. If you buy this in the store, it's called celluclay, and it's quite expensive. So just a little bit of glue, wet paper towels that have been, and I like to think about the expression, like these eyes look kind of like surprised or befuddled. So I'm thinking of facial features, and eyebrows especially are going to play a big role in expression. So as you see, I have used the paper clay, or homemade celluclay, paper mache pulp, to form and attach to my little faces, and trying to think about expression. One thing I noticed is that I did have too much water. You do need to squeeze most of the water out before you add your glue. And like I said, there is another recipe for flour, water, and salt. It takes a little more time to grind it up. So I'll be back with you and show you the finishing touches on this 3D sun symbol. When your features are good and dry, at least 24 hours, it's time to add color. Markers work well. Watercolor paints, if you have them, could work too. I used a wet paintbrush to wet the markers a bit to spread the marker around to fill in all the little nooks and crannies. Okay, so we have our faces colored in, so now it's time to put these two together so they become even more 3D. So I'm going to turn this one over, and I see where the hole is at the top. And my good old Elmer's glue, I'm just going to put a bead of glue, more than dots of glue with nosy this time, just a nice bead of glue. And then I'm going to place this one where my hole would line up with that. Lay it on, align everything up, and just let it sit for a little while. So now it's time to string it up, and this is what I have available here, some little ribbon. So you want to cut a piece, and I always cut longer than what I might need. Put the two ends together, and I like to do a double knot. Come here. And my fingers aren't working this morning. And pull, and maybe even, yeah, probably do an extra one. And then I'll cut the extra off, and then put this end, the loop side, through both, and then that knot will catch it. I hope you will enjoy this radial sun project. It's more involved, but hey, we need art just like we need the sun. Till next time, have fun, create.